Several thousand years before civilization, survival was a battle fought every single day. The Ice Age was a world of relentless cold, where food was never guaranteed and every creature lived on the edge of starvation. For both humans and wolves, wasting energy could be fatal. A failed hunt might mean days without food, and in the frozen wilderness, even the strongest could disappear within a single harsh season. As darkness settled across the snow-covered plains, a small group of hunter-gatherers gathered around a campfire after a successful hunt. They quietly shared their meal, conserving both food and energy. The fire was far more than a source of warmth. It pushed back the darkness, protected them from the freezing night, and discouraged many predators from venturing too close. Even so, someone always remained awake, watching the endless darkness beyond the edge of the light fire. When the meal was finished, bones and scraps that held little value to the hunters were thrown outside the camp. What seemed worthless to humans carried a scent that drifted silently across the frozen landscape. Far away in the darkness, a lone wolf caught that scent. It stopped instantly, lifting its nose into the icy wind. This wasn't the smell of a moving herd or an animal fleeing across the plains. There were no pounding hooves, no chase, and no struggle. Somewhere ahead was food that might be claimed without spending precious energy. For a wolf, every hunt came with risk. Chasing prey demanded strength, endurance, and luck. A single failure could leave it weaker than before. An easy meal, however rare, was an opportunity worth investigating. The wolf moved cautiously toward the unfamiliar smell. It never rushed. Every few steps it paused, listening to the silence and testing the wind again before continuing. Instinct had kept its ancestors alive for countless generations, teaching them that the easiest meal could also be the most dangerous trap. Eventually, a faint orange glow appeared in the distance. The wolf froze. A fire burned against the darkness while strange two-legged creatures moved around it. It had seen humans before and understood one thing above all else: they were dangerous. Unlike other predators, humans hunted together. Armed with stone, wood, and bone, they could kill animals far larger than themselves. Remaining hidden, the wolf lowered its body into the snow and watched from a safe distance. Some humans fed wood into the fire, others prepared meat or rested beside the flames. Their movements were unfamiliar yet strangely predictable. They gathered around the light, stayed close to one another, and rarely wandered into the darkness alone. Hunger urged the wolf to move closer, but caution held it back. Time passed. The fire slowly burned lower as more people drifted to sleep. Only a single guard remained awake, quietly scanning the darkness beyond the camp. Neither predator made the first move. The wolf watched every movement, memorizing the rhythm of the camp. It learned where the humans gathered, when they rested, and how the fire created an invisible boundary between safety and the frozen wilderness. At one moment, the guard may have caught the faint reflection of two amber eyes staring from beyond the reach of the firelight. He knew something was there. The wolf knew it had been noticed, yet neither side advanced. Separated by nothing more than darkness and a single campfire, two intelligent predators silently studied one another for the very first time. The night grew quieter as the wind shifted across the frozen plain. With the smoke drifting away from the camp, the scent of food became even stronger. The wolf rose and began circling the campsite instead of approaching it directly. Every step was measured. Its ears searched for the slightest sound, while its nose sorted through the smells of smoke, leather, blood, and cooked meat. Whenever someone stirred beside the fire, it stopped immediately, waiting until silence returned before moving again. Eventually, it reached the edge of the camp where the hunters had discarded the remains of their meal. Scattered across the snow lay a few bones. One still held traces of fat, and deep inside remained marrow that the humans had left behind. For the people, it was little more than waste. For the wolf, it was another chance to survive. Without hesitation, it stepped forward, grabbed the bone, and disappeared into the darkness almost as quickly as it had arrived. It didn't search for more food or linger near the camp. Staying longer meant risking everything for very little reward. By the time the camp grew quiet again, only a line of fresh tracks remained in the snow. When morning came, the hunters noticed that one of the bones had vanished. Following the tracks, they realized a lone wolf had approached during the night, taken only a single bone, and left without threatening anyone. To the humans, it was a small and forgettable moment in another difficult winter. To the wolf, it was a discovery. It had learned that human camps could provide food without the danger of a hunt. More importantly, it had discovered that humans did not always attack, as long as it respected their distance. The humans learned something as well. The wolf had not charged into the camp or hunted anyone. It had taken only what was left behind before disappearing into the wilderness. Perhaps not every encounter between humans and wolves had to end in bloodshed. Across countless winters, moments like this may have happened again and again. The wolves that feared humans too much stayed away and gained nothing. Those that were reckless likely never survived. Only the cautious ones, patient enough to observe, smart enough to keep their distance, and bold enough to seize an opportunity, benefited from living near human camps. Over many generations, those small advantages slowly added up. The distance between humans and wolves became just a little shorter. Some wolves began following hunting groups from afar, waiting quietly for leftovers after each successful hunt. In return, their sharp senses may have unknowingly warned humans whenever other predators or strangers approached the camp. No one planned this relationship. No one imagined friendship. It began with something much simpler. One side found an easier meal. The other unknowingly gained an extra pair of watchful eyes beyond the firelight. That night did not create a companion. It created a possibility. The wolf still belonged to the wild. The humans still feared what waited beyond the fire. But for the first time, survival had brought two hunters together instead of driving them apart. Neither could have imagined that this fragile understanding would one day change the course of history. Because when darkness returned the following night, the same wolf came back.